Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, the Orioles were actually in position to sweep the series in New York against the Yankees. Sadly, not meant to be. They did, however, win the first two games. So it would appear with the return of players off the injured list, like let's say Webb, and then Coulomb, and then Westberg, and then Urias, and then Mountcastle. Yep, Mountcastle's back. Offense is on the comeback a little bit. It's good news. Orioles have clinched a postseason spot. Sadly, they cannot win the AL East again for the second year in a row, but there is still time to clinch the top wild card spot. I'll get to the standings at the end. As you can see, I'm on MASNsports.com. Let's get to game one. Baltimore Orioles 5, New York Yankees 3. Henderson a hit and a walk. Rutschman a walk. Santander hit an RBI, walked once, scored twice. Cowser hit, RBI, and a run scored. Westberg a hit, walked once, and scored once. Ryno earned 2 hits and an RBI. I think he's probably benefited the most because he doesn't necessarily feel like he has to do all this by himself now. Again, you were on your second and third, even fourth option. Some of these utility roles or extra infield spots. I think several of these guys back does help. It alleviates some of the pressure. See, O'Hearn actually 2 hits and 2 at-bats and was lifted for a pinch hitter. However, of course, that pinch hitter being Ryan Mountcastle, who got a hit himself. Kerstad had an RBI. Over, but RBI. Urias, a hit, an RBI, and a run scored. Cedric Mullins, over. O'Hearn, Henderson with doubles. Santander, Urias, Cowser with home runs. No stolen bases. Somewhat odd, but okay. Dean Kramer gets a start here. It goes 5 full innings, giving up 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And that all while actually pitching to Aaron Judge. Still don't understand it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Whatever. Though to a certain extent, they did pitch to Aaron. I mean, he hit a home run? He actually hit a home run in all 3 games. Right? Yeah. Aaron Judge actually hit a home run in all 3 games. But that's what happens when you pitch to him at every at-bat. He's going to hit a home run eventually. Maybe don't pitch to him so much. There are definitely a few instances where it's like, why are you pitching to him? I mean, especially if the first 2 pitches, you're trying to get him to chase, so you're intentionally throwing outside. Okay, why not just send him to first base after that? Why not? Because the 4-hole hitter for the New York Yankees, the guy hitting behind Aaron Judge, in Game 1, he was 0 for 4. Game 2, he was 0 for 4. And in Game 3, he was 0 for 3. Why are you pitching to Aaron Judge so much? If the guy that they're putting behind him can't hit, why not pitch to that guy? What? It boggles the mind. Okay, pitch to him every once in a while. Fine. Game 2, there was a spot where you really shouldn't have pitched to him. And it really hurts you for Game 3. But whatever. Keegan Aiken get on in relief of Dean Kramer. Only faces 3 batters, gets 2 outs. So pitching 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Jacob Webb finishing off that inning. The face, Giancarlo Stanton. Seems to have a knack for getting him out. So getting the last out of the 6th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Ciano Perez on for the 7th inning and only able to get 2 outs, all while giving up 2 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and no strikeouts. You're letting them come back into this game. Whatever. Yanier Cano in relief of Perez, getting 2 outs, facing 4 batters. Cano giving up 2 hits. Well, yeah. Not sure exactly what is... Wait. Okay. I wonder if it was recording like that. Shit. It's like I fix it over here, and then it's like, oh, you gotta upload the fix. Alright. Alright, so the first few minutes of this video aren't going to look that great. My bad. Yeah, Brandon Hyde was asked at a certain point during the series, was some of the soreness that Cano was experiencing, was it affecting his performance? Like, say, here, giving up hits and allowing inherited runners to score. Hyde said no. To a certain extent, it is a little bit more, and this is me saying it, not Brandon Hyde. I mean, overuse. The team knows you. I mean, your opponent knows you by now. You're not sneaking up on anybody. Pitch location isn't exactly the crispest. Maybe pitch choice isn't the greatest either. And sometimes you have to realize that that other team gets paid too, even though you think they're overpriced and you think that organization just goes out and buys whatever hitters they want. Which they do, because Aaron Judge is actually playing center field now, because they don't have anybody else that can play a good defensive center field. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. So Yanier Cano, pitching 2/3 of an inning, does give up 2 hits, but he's not charged with any runs. He didn't walk anybody. He didn't strike anybody out either. Gregory Soto on in relief of Cano, getting 3 full outs. Not necessarily pitching a full inning, but getting the last 2 outs in the 8th and the first out in the 9th. No hits, no runs. Does walk a batter. And he strikes somebody out. Sir Anthony Dominguez on to finish out the 9th inning and get his 11th save. So getting the 2 outs, pitching 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Game 2, Baltimore Orioles 9, New York Yankees 7. That number is very skewed because the Yankees were allowed to score 4 runs in the 9th inning. Yeah. Great choices with your pitching late in that game. Gunnar Henderson, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, scored twice. Westberg, 2 hits, an RBI, and a run scored. Santander, 2 hits, an RBI, and a run scored. Kowser, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, walked once, scored once. There you go. Putting a shellacking down on him. Mountcastle, a hit and an RBI. Ryan O'Hearn, wow, you've seen them both in the lineup at the same time. Shocking. O'Hearn, 1 hit. Arias, 1 hit and a run scored. Mullins, 3 hits, 3 runs scored. Also walked once. McCann, 2 hits and an RBI. Wow. Yeah, Mountcastle and O'Hearn in there at the same time, and Rutschman not in the lineup. Well, you got to change it up every once in a while. Mullins, Santander, and Kowser with doubles, and that's it. No home runs. Put up 9 runs with no home runs. That is not something this lineup does very often. Mullins with 2 steals. Kowser with 1 steal. For Mullins, that puts him up to 32. There you go. That's a good number. Henderson, a caught stealing. Zach Eflin gets to start in this game. Not a typical Zach Eflin start for us. Pitch count kind of got up there. Wasting a lot of pitches there, and Judge and Soto, for that matter, but you do have to be a little careful with those guys. So Eflin pitching 4 2/3 of an inning, gives up 4 hits, 3 runs, 5 walks. That's what really killed him. And struck out 1. But at the same time, if you're being that careful with, like, say, a Soto or a Judge, why throw the pitches? Because now you can just put them on first base without having to throw the pitches. So could that have allowed Eflin to get through 5 innings? It could have, or maybe even more. Because Eflin only threw 92 pitches. If you take away at least one full at bat to Judge, what is that? 6 pitches? Maybe? You don't know. I mean, especially when the 4-hole hitter, the guy hitting behind Aaron Judge, didn't get a hit in the entire series. And if he does get a hit, it's probably not going to be a home run because he's not Aaron Judge. Jacob Webb, in relief of Zach Eflin, actually gets credited with the win here because Eflin didn't go 5. Webb pitching 1 1/3 of an inning. Gives up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and strikes out 1. Good to have him back. Danny Coulomb in for the 7th inning. Again, nice to have him back as well. Pitching the full 7th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Weird seeing him not strike anybody out, but he is trying to get back to form. Gregory Soto in for the 8th inning. Pitching the full 8th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. We were ready to get rid of him there for a while. Good thing they stuck with him a little bit. It's a shame Kimbrel couldn't turn it around like Gregory Soto did, but it is what it is. Here is where I see the big mistake by Brandon Hyde. Matt Bowman in for the 9th inning. Now, that's not necessarily the mistake because it is, I mean, at that point, what was it? 9-3. Can Matt Bowman get 3 outs before the Yankees can get 6 runs? You got to believe that he can. The part of it is here, he pitched to Aaron Judge. I didn't understand that. So yes, he was only able to get 1 out in the 9th inning, giving up 4 hits, 4 runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Part of the thing was here, gave up a 3-run home run to Aaron Judge in that inning. Yes, okay, there were 2 men on in front of Judge. We don't want to walk Judge because then it loads the bases. But it loads the bases for a guy who ended up not actually getting a hit this entire series. Who would you rather pitch to? Austin Wells, again, the guy that didn't get a hit this entire series, with 3 men on, or would you rather pitch to Aaron Judge with 2 men on? I'm sorry, I would rather pitch to Austin Wells with 3 runners on. Why would I want to pitch to Aaron Judge with a bunch of runners on? I'd rather pitch to the guy that apparently can't hit with a bunch of runners on. Right? I don't understand that. And that's part of the problem. Okay, maybe he gets a hit. Maybe. Is it going to be a grand slam? Well, Bowman ends up giving up 4 runs anyway. So, who cares? And what... You have a better chance of getting it out there with Austin Wells instead of Aaron Judge. And really what that could have done, to me, you have a better chance of getting out of the inning. Because how many double plays has Austin Wells grounded into this year? Allegedly a lot. But no. You had to have Matt Bowman actually throw pitches to Aaron Judge. I mean, it hurts. It hurts his, what do you want to call it? His stamina out there. Because he has to throw, 6, 7 pitches to Aaron Judge before he hits a home run. Or 4 or 5 or however many it was. Which could be used for another batter. Could have gotten you 2 outs. Okay, so he strikes out. Austin Wells. And then you got Stanton up there with the bases loaded. Okay. I think I would rather have that matchup than Aaron Judge. Okay, yes, Stanton can hit a bunch of home runs. Well, if you execute your pitches, he won't. You know? Don't throw him a pitch that he can hit a home run off of. Duh. Though it's not necessarily easy. But at the same time, okay, you gave up 4 runs anyway. And now you're past Stanton. It would have been nice if Bowman could have gotten through this. Sometimes you got to help him out by not having him face one of the best power hitters in this generation. Because now you had to use Keegan Aiken to finish off the 9th inning. So now what you do not have Keegan Aiken for Game 3. That hurts. It hurts. Especially because you knew something was going to happen in Game 3. You didn't tell anybody. And I'm not even sure that was a great decision. But whatever. So Keegan Aiken has to finish off the 9th inning here. And he does get credited with a save because at this point it was a save situation. So Keegan Aiken getting the final 2 outs of the game. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Let's come to Game 3. Baltimore Orioles 1. New York Yankees 10. Had a 6-run 6th inning. 6-run 6th inning. Yeah, that's where you made your mistake, Brandon Hyde. Sorry. I don't care whatever you say you was trying to do. You didn't do a good job that time. I mean, you could. It's all over the scorebook here. You know. Gunnar Henderson, over. Well, that's not going to help you win a game. Of course, Garrett Cole was pitching for the Yankees, so he's a perennial Cy Young candidate, and he actually won the Cy Young last year. Jackson Holliday, pinch hitting and playing shortstop late in the game, because it's a blowout, actually gets a hit. Helps contribute to the only run the Orioles got in the 9th inning. In the 8th inning. Yes, I was right the first time. The 9th inning. Weisberg, over. Santander, over. Wow. Heston Kjerstad, pinch hitting late, over. Or defensive replacement late, ends up getting it at bat because, who cares? The Orioles had already lost the game. They lost the game in that 6th inning, really. Colton Cowser, over. Struck out 3 times. Wow. Just when it looked like you had turned it around. Austin Slater, pinch hitting late, hit and scored a run. Adley Rutschman, 1 hit, DHing. Okay. Ryno Hearn, over. Ryan Mountcastle, pinch hit late, 1 hit. Ramon Arias, 1 hit and 2 at bats. Emmanuel Rivera, pinch hitting late. Sure, I completely understand why, but it's fine. It was late in the game, so I guess is already out of reach. You might as well get Ramon Arias off his feet and off that ankle that he did recently roll. Emmanuel Rivera over, but did get an RBI. Cedric Mullins, 1 hit. James McCann, a hit, and the only walk the Orioles worked this game. Yeah. No extra base hits for the Orioles. Gunnar Henderson with a throwing error. Yeah. It wasn't until somewhat late in the game that actually came back to bite you. Corbin Burns gets a start in this game. Pitches 5 full innings. Yeah, that was a mistake. Okay, I understand you want to set up Corbin Burns for his potential wild card start Tuesday. Is 15 pitches really going to matter? I mean, maybe? Maybe? I guess it's technically possible. You had Volpe and Torres, first 2 hitters of the inning, right before Soto and Judge. Now, was able to get Volpe Yannier Cano. Not sure what his problem is. Apparently he's just lost it. And Torres walks. What would have been nice is, in a perfect world, you leave Burns in there, and he gets Volpe and Torres in less than 10 pitches. Then you take him out and bring in a lefty to face Soto. Say Perez is your only available lefty because you didn't want to throw Coulomb. Gregory Soto would have been pitching in 3 straight games. You don't want that. You had to use Keegan Aiken late. So Perez, you're only a lefty available tonight or for this third game. Again, allow Corbin Burns to get Volpe and Torres. Or leave him out there to pitch to him, and hopefully he gets him out. Then you got a lefty-on-lefty matchup for Soto. Hopefully you don't, you can get Soto out. And then intentionally walk Aaron Judge, which he ended up walking anyway. Which ended up loading the bases. And and then you have another lefty-lefty matchup for Austin Wells. That is assuming that Aaron Boone doesn't take him out and swap him for somebody else, but Wells is their starting catcher. Just some of the decision making around it here and for this team, Burns threw 69 pitches. You really think throwing 80 pitches really that much of a difference? Oh, now he's not going to be ready for his wild card start because he threw 11 more pitches. Whatever. I don't agree, but it's fine. Whatever. I guess just, give the game away. Yannier Cano only able to get 1 out after coming in relief of Burns. Maybe that's why. You used too many bullpen arms. Well, it would have been nice if you had Keegan Aiken available. Would have been nice. But you didn't. Because you had to use him at the end of last game, which meant he pitched 2 straight games. You can't use him for a third straight game. Not at this point in the year. So Yannier Cano not able to get it done. Does get 1 out, but he also gives up 1 hit, 3 runs, 2 walks. Did get a strikeout, though. Not before, essentially blowing the game. And then Ciano Perez. Now you bring in Ciano Perez. After what? Cano faced 4. So he faced Torres, Volpe, Soto, and Judge. And then you brought in Perez to face Austin Wells. Didn't go well because, of course, Perez just walks him. Wow. Perez, again, we're still in the 6th inning. Perez only able to get 1 out while giving up 1 hit, 2 runs, walking 1, and striking out none. Absolute implosion here in the bullpen. Brian Baker. Oh my God, somebody stop the bleeding. Somebody get somebody out. Well, Baker is able to finish off the 6th inning, not before giving up 1 more run. Baker hasn't pitched in a while in, 2-3 days? At this point anyway, so Baker was able to give some length because Cano and Perez went out to the field and took a dump. Baker pitching 1 1/3 of an inning, finishing off the 6th and the full 7th. Gives up 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs. Thanks, Gunnar. Walking 1 and striking out 4. Wow. That's why you don't pitch to Aaron Judge. Because of the rest of the lineup, they're nowhere near on the same level. Soto might be. Aaron Judge is kind of on a level with all his own. And Stanton can run into 1 every once in a while, but the rest of the lineup just they're not. You take Aaron Judge out of that lineup, and assuming you don't replace him with anybody else, just the guys you have, it is not the same team. It is not the same team. Judge has like 70 home runs or some random ass number. 58. He has 58 home runs. That's a lot of runs. It's a lot. So again, like, why? Why pitch to him? Okay, whatever. Matt Bowman pitching back-to-back nights here. Does a lot better this time around. Still not that good. Still does give up a run. Pitching the full 8th inning. Gives up 2 hits on 1 run. No walks, no strikeouts. So at least there's that. Orioles were able to get through that game, this series anyway, to get 2 wins out of it, which is pretty good. All right, let's get to some articles. Actually, this is more of just a press release written by the Masson staff. This is a move to get Ryan Mountcastle back on the roster. Eloy Jimenez, option to AAA Norfolk. And also the release here saying Craig Kimbrell was outright released because he passed through waivers. And the really bad news here, if the news wasn't bad enough, this article written by Rock Kabatko. Well, with so many injuries, and so many guys trying to rehab and get healthy in time for the postseason, of course not everybody was going to be able to make it. Sadly, that person is Grayson Rodriguez. Does hurt the rotation. So, Grayson Rodriguez will not pitch again this year. Everybody's wondering, couldn't he have come in and given you 1 inning? Couldn't he have, isn't that worth a postseason roster spot? I feel like technically he could, probably not in a wild card round, but if the Orioles did get to the divisional round, I feel like he could have been healthy based on things I've heard. I feel like he could have been healthy, but you have no idea what kind of setbacks he's going to have. You don't even have any idea if he can even do it. When was the last time Grayson Rodriguez came in a relief appearance? Everybody's like, he could be the closer. Maybe? It's not like we haven't seen something like that before. We have seen things of this nature in Major League Baseball before. Mike Elias and Brandon Hyde and the rest of the Orioles management was not willing to do this. I mean, even you might think, by a World Series, like if some miracle the Orioles make it to the World Series, you would think Grayson Rodriguez would be healthy enough to at least pitch, 1 inning every other game, which could be a huge benefit to your bullpen. But at least at this point, that has been ruled out. Disappointing. Coming to the schedule here. Actually, let's go to the standings first. I go to the schedule. I wrap up with the schedule. Taking a look at the standings, the Orioles have been eliminated from contention for the AL East, but still have the top spot in the wild card and are currently 3 games ahead of the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals, who are tied with each other. All the Orioles got to do is win 1 game, or maybe have the Royals and or the Tigers lose 1. That would be good as well. That would be just as good, actually. Because then that would mean the Orioles do lock up that top spot for a wild card. Now, that means, they're going to face the next best wild card team in a 3-game series, but cross that bridge when we get to it. At least you'd have more home games. So, yeah, and again, magic number, that's what we're talking about here. And yes, it's either a win by the Orioles or a loss by the Tigers and the Royals. There are tiebreaker scenarios. I don't know what they are. I think we hold the tiebreaker with the Royals, but do not hold the tiebreaker with the Tigers because it was recently and the Orioles been playing bad. So you don't want the 3 teams to end up tied because kind of craziness there. But so the Tigers or the Royals and the Royals lose 1 game, then it puts them 3 games back of the Orioles with only 2 games left to play. Let's say that happens tonight, right? You can't make a 3 games if there's only 2 games left to play. Again, the Orioles win, then that's it. Because even if the Tigers or Royals win, say that all 3 teams win, then again, still, Tigers and the Royals will be 3 games back of the Orioles with only 2 games to play. Just trying to explain what some of these magic numbers mean and how some of these scenarios can play out. All right, let's get to the schedule. Orioles should be in Minnesota already. Hopefully, I know there's a bunch of storms around here. As of right now, the games are scheduled to play. We'll see the greatest time for some of this bad weather because we're running out of days to make these games up. Tonight's game, Friday. This game's scheduled for 8:10. Saturday's game scheduled for 7:15. Sunday's game scheduled for 3:10. All games Sunday should be scheduled for 3:10. That's everybody's playing at the same time, so one team can't see another team lose and be like, oh, well, we're just going to sit all our people. They don't like that. Major League Baseball doesn't like that. So all that is going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Please stay tuned for Monday, and I will talk about this series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Minnesota Twins, and hopefully the top wild card team in the American League. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.